Helhest is actually really sick, and there are some really interesting ways you can build her, but there's only one best way. I feel very, very confident in this build, which is why I'm going to give it to you on basically the second day she's out. That way, as you guys are developing her, you know exactly what you should be working on and what you should be looking for. This could be a little bit of a longer one, so strap in, strap on, and let's have a good time. So let's get straight into it. Let's look at our overview. I'm going to not waste too much time by going over the overview, but I do want to at least speak to it because she is actually kind of sick. So her relic abilities. So her passive is data conversion. So when boosting / healing drones buff or heal allies, they also grant assisted calculations, which basically this is just going to give you the ability of getting data fragments, which is going to allow you to basically give yourself a what's it called? The heavy ammo. So and you can get them really, really quickly, especially if there's a lot of mobs. You can get them super fast, and then as you talent her up, you can get them even faster. So this is her passive. You basically give yourself the ability of getting more heavy ammo at a pretty decent rate, not going to lie. For her signature 1, it's rapid deployment. There actually is 2, and if you're playing on glass or on your phone, there are 2 buttons for this one. I had to actually move over my ultimate, or my super, if you will, so that way I could have room for all these new buttons that we have for her. And I meant to call out, so when you want to turn in or actually receive the heavy ammo, you'd have to go near one of your drones, which you're always going to have up, so they're always going to be right near you. But that's how you get them. It actually does go to your party members as well who are in the area. So really, really good. All right, so we talked about the 2 different buttons, even though it's literally 2 different buttons for the one abilities, but you can basically have them both up at all times. So one is a healing drone, and then the other is more of a power buffing drone. And then your ultimate is the full firepower, which is basically going to cause you to summon a super drone and then getting your current drones up to the highest level. And then it will actually, this one will follow you. Your other drones will not follow you. You actually do have to resummon them, but there are some pretty good on-screen notifications as to when you are too far away from them, and they'll actually just recall themselves to you, so that way you can go and send them back out. So you basically have 100% of time of your drones, which is really nice. Her signature ability 2. Salvo, I believe is how you say it. This is basically just sheer damage. You're basically just going to do an AoE ability. You hold it down. You can see where you want to aim it. It has a pretty decent AoE damage, and it does a ton of damage. But it also leaves them with the salvo effect, which essentially lets them you can trigger additional volleys, so it just allows you to basically not target directly on an enemy, and you can just still hit them, which is pretty sick. But it also allows you to, we'll get to it. We'll get to what else it does. But anyway, let's look at the relic traits. So deploying it or upgrading a drone increases the damage bonus / healing potency of the boosted drone / healing drone on the field by 200% for 4 seconds. Repeatedly applying this effect extends the duration. The trait will not take effect while the super drone is present. Okay. Relic trait 2, allies including Helhest herself gain 40% movement speed bonus. While within range of her boosted drones, this effect lasts for 8 seconds after she leaves the drone range, which is a pretty decent range. And again, you can summon them to come back to you. So you actually do have just a pretty, I don't want to say consistent, but predictable movement speed bonus. Highlights. Releasing the super drone upgrades the boosted drones and healing drones present to max level and refreshes the duration. Additionally, any boosted drones / healing drones deployed during this period will also be upgraded to its max level. Perfect. And then weapon mastery, overclock shots, additional damage increase. So overclock is shortens bow draw time and linear fusion rifle charge time by 50%. Shots that hit combatants also deal an extra 15% arc damage. Okay. Grants a weak spot lock on within a smaller range while aiming down sights. This does not take effect against light bearers. So really, really good for PvE. So those are her relics. Let's look at the talents. So the first one is actually really good. It gives you 3 different charges for rapid deployment, which again kind of helps you maintain the ability. You can only have 2 available, but because you have 3 charges, you can get them at least 1 to rank 2 really quickly, and more or less ensure you always have 100% uptime. The second one is while there are combatants inflicted with Helhest own data analysis present, the encrypted network automatically generates 1 data fragment every 15 seconds. So instead of having to always pick up the data fragments, now you're just generating 1 every 15 seconds, which is, again, very nice. Number 3, overclock shots damage is increased by an additional 20%. So this is just straight up additional weapon mastery damage increased by 20%. Reduce the data fragments quantity needed to airdrop a heavy ammo to 16. I want to say it's like 32 originally, so this is like literally cutting in half. It's pretty nice. It's either 32 or 28. Either way, it's a pretty noticeable drop in the amount needed. The number of salvo stacks granted after casting the salvo ability is increased to 6. Okay. And then this is an ultimate, this is her tier T6. So this is actually how you unlock level 3. So you actually cannot get level 3 until you get her to T6. And then additionally, when firing weapons to direct level 3 boosting drones, healing drones to fire volleys, they will deal additional instance of arc damage equal to 50% of the fired weapon's damage. So again, it gives her drones a pretty noticeably massive upgrade. I'm not saying it's a requirement to make her good, but as a whale, like, you can make her a lot better, dude. Something's in my eye. I'm going, I'm not crying, I promise. She's just so beautiful. I'm just dying over here. Now, in terms of her weapons, we're going to try to get through this without literally poking my eye out, but I'm pretty close to it. All right, so for the weapons itself, so you have obviously the bow and the linear fusion rifle. Dude. So this is where one of the hardest decisions come into play for Helhest. It's going to be the exotic weapons. I've already seen a lot of people talk about Trinity Ghoul. Of course, it's a lot of people's favorite weapons from Destiny 2. It's not bad. Okay, it's actually not bad at all. And then the other choice is in your, your heavy, which is going to be Royal Contraband or Queen's Gambit, because that's what it's called in D2. Queen's Gambit or something like that. But anyway, I talked about this a little bit when I first did my first review of the new patch. Yashimoto is a really, really good main weapon, mythic weapon, because it gives you a little bit more movement speed. So because it is a recurve bow, draw quickly and move faster while this weapon is equipped. So while it is equipped, you naturally just get a little bit more of a speed bonus. But then also the origin trait is final blows grant plus 7% speed, sprint speed for 5 seconds, stacking it to 3 times. So there's that. And that's without it even fully upgraded. That's just at level 5. So it not only is that really good as just sort of like a passive, just all around good to have bow, the Royal Contravene does ridiculous damage with the combat sight, which is the low zoom sight with faster charge time and handling, fires a 3-round burst with consecutive hits, further reducing the charge time, display ability energy. So the really cool thing about the Royal Contravene is that holding the reload button toggles this weapon's sights and changes its firing mode. But you can actually just keep, is it this part right here? Yeah, so when the weapons magazine is empty, it refills from reserves based on the number of hits. So if you're in a boss phase or is a burn phase for a activity, especially in PvE, obviously, you will never have to reload this. You will just pump through your heavy ammo as long as you're hitting your hits, your shot. Hit your shots, kid. But in addition to that, the 3-round burst is insanely good for this as well, because you're hitting it 3 times. And so again, with every hit lowering the charge time, like it starts off like and then it goes and like it just like literally just like a battle rifle, like it turns into like a machine gun once it gets fully ramped up. And again, you never have to stop your damage phase with having to reload. And because you're using this on Helhest, she can actually give you more ammo, which is pretty sick, and which is why I think that Royal Contraband is by far the best exotic for her. In terms of the bow and what the god rolls are, I did talk about this a little bit as well. Annihilation is just, it's really good. So the weapon deals increased damage based on how low the target's HP is, up to 36%. I like this a lot. Ensured yields is like for me. Final blows grant the next magazine plus 60% after reloading. If no final blows were made with the previous magazine, then reloading it will grant up to plus 35% damage based on the number of hits landed. This one, like I've talked about it before, I think that either this one, ensured yields, or black body is going to be the god roll. You can make a point for Shiver, but I think truly one of these two is going to be your best bet for damage. So that's going to be your weapon choice and your exotic choice. Again, I think Trinity Ghoul has a place where it could be relevant. And if you are insistent on using Trinity Ghoul, you're just going to be better at clearing mobs because of the AoE damage it can do and the chain lightning. You're just not going to do as much single target consistent damage as you would with the Royal Contraband. All right, now let's say you do want to go with the Trinity Ghoul because it is a battle pass weapon, and you want to go with the one and only mythic linear fusion rifle. So obviously it's going to be end of the line. In terms of the traits and perks, so the perks you're going to want to get are Trinkladier, which is gains 15% damage when the fire team is full, and up to 20% additional damage if ally shields haven't been broken. I think this is one where, yeah, it's all about allies in general. So like you just take what you can get there. Searing Mark is the other one though. So precision hits grant the next round fired within 5 seconds plus 12% precision damage stacks up to 5 times. The last round in the magazine gains up to 250% precision damage based on the number of stacks held. Damn. And then the perk upgrade is landing precision hits on bosses and powerful combatants adds 2 stacks. Nice. So again, super good there. I'm a fan of Shearing Mark, and I got the perk to upgrade it, so that felt really good actually as well. So again, there's a lot of flexibility in her builds. If you want her to be really good at just straight up in-game content, maximum damage, you want to do Royal Contravene. Otherwise, if you're focused on just sort of clearing mobs and more, I guess, balanced, I guess you could call it, then Trinity Ghoul is a really good choice as well. I'm probably going to end up using her for raids, so that's why I went Royal Contraband, because the burn phase is just going to be stupid nutty, and she can also heal and buff damage to your allies, and then also give them heavy ammo as well. So I think that's just going to be such a useful thing when running raids. So that's why I'm going to run her in raids and do Royal Contraband. Now let's talk about her artifacts. We actually did get new artifacts, and I don't want people to be misled. I think that this is, if you think about it, it's a lot easier than it needs to be in terms of which ones you should be using. So one of the new ones is United Axon. So at level 5, deal 140% weapon damage while affected by allied damage bonus effects. So this is only really going to be impactful to those who are running Helhest or running Tantu with his ultimate. So it's really just for Helhest. And it's just a flat damage bonus, since you're always going to have 100% of time on this. So take the damage bonus. I have seen reports that it might not be working fully as intended, or at least not the way it was worded. If that is a bug, I'm very confident they will fix it. We've seen that already in other issues or misleading text. So either way, though, this is it for her. Now there are other axons for the other slots, but I don't think you should overcomplicate this, because some of them just aren't great, and we'll talk about it here as well. So before I'm going to suggest Ring of Abundance, which grants 16.8% potent, 48% potency of healing and overshield received. And I'm also going to do the same thing, Ring of Conversion, for my slot 2, which is going to be 80% of overflow healing from the wielder's own abilities is converted into an overshield that lasts 6 seconds. So now I'm going to be gaining an overshield, and the potency of the healing / overshield is going to be increased. And that's actually going to go really well into the Ring of Reflection. So gain damage bonus equal to overshield value divided by health, max health, times 24.5% while protected by an overshield for a max damage bonus of 25%. You are, once again, for like the third time, you're always going to have her supporting healing drones on you. So you're always going to be getting that healing. So in theory, as long as you're not taking too much damage, you should always have that overshield up with this sort of combination. That's the one that I would do if you're insistent on knowing what the new ones are and if you should do it. The answer is just no. So this one is when a combatant is confined, they take higher long-range weapon damage from the wielder for the next 10 seconds. Combatants take 12.6% damage at range and more than 20 meters, and 20.3% damage range more than 30 meters. I don't want to have to know how far away I am to get the maximum amount of damage. That just seems silly. So again, that's why I'm going with the one that I am, Ring of Reflection. The other one, where was it? I don't know. They're in there somewhere. Oh, here it is. Though when the wielder is healed over time by their own abilities, healing received is increased by 4.2% for 6 seconds, stacks up to 5 times, as a 1 stack can be gained every 2 seconds. If you're already fully healed, then you're not getting that much out of it. So again, I would rather just actually turn that over healing into a shield and then get more damage from it. So that's what I think is the best there. I'm going to be running a lot of Singularity Chaos to get some god rolls on those. But yeah, guys, Helhest is just stupid good. I think a lot of people are sleeping on her because we did also get the new, I guess I have them. We also got Rossi 11. I'm pretty sure it's Rossi 11. He's also not bad at all. He arguably could be a legendary hero as well. But I think people are going to be sleeping on Helhest. I think she's a very engaging character that is very different than anything else, which is why I pulled for her. If you missed my video where I did pull for her, make sure you click on it right here and see just how I got absolutely wrecked by RNG. Because again, I was trying to get the 2 new heroes, and let's just say I didn't. A lot. But again, Helhest is an absolute beast. Highly recommend her. If I missed anything or you strongly disagree, feel free to listen in the comment section. I'm happy to have a good, healthy conversation with you. I feel very confident this is going to be her most meta build in Destiny Rising, but let me know what you think in the comment section below. Once again, click on this video if you missed me just getting wrecked by RNGesus. Click on it right now.